gentlemen. How y'all feeling? This is the Tuesday Night Live stream with Chris Q. Murphy. I'm your host, Chris Q. Murphy, and I'm here to have a damn good time. The restroom is unoccupied. Everybody's here to party, and we're here to have a great Tuesday. I hope you are as well. Every week we get together and we talk to songwriters about songwriting, and they play us their songs, and it is simply fan-fucking-tastic. I am thrilled, as always, to have a special guest on live with me this week. But before we bring him out to do his thing, I'm going to go ahead and open up the show with just a couple of tunes. You may or may not know this, but for a lot of songwriters out there, February is February album writing month. It is an opportunity for you to challenge yourself to write an entire album, they say 14 songs, worth of songs in 1 month. Not a super easy thing to do, but I challenged myself to do it this year nonetheless. I'm not going to lie. I did not complete said challenge. I did not complete 14 songs last month, now that it's March. In my mind, I had it that I was going to do 7 of the songs. And I thought that that was going to be pretty good for a guy with a full-time job and 2 kids at home and all that stuff. That is not quite a professional songwriting. But I figured 7 would be good, and I wrote 6. So I'm gonna give myself a B on this one. Whether or not any of those songs are any good, the future will tell. I am certainly not the one to decide, but I'm going to go ahead and play one of those songs for you. This is the song called This Is the Life. We can talk about it later on if you so desire. In the meantime, I'm just going to drop this funky beat. I'm going to read the lyrics right over there, and I'm going to play you this brand new tune. It's never been performed in public before. This might be the first and the last. Check it out. Oh, we can do better than that, though. I need more volume there. There we go. Here we go. In a basement bar, down a secret slope-side street, under a threadbare orange awning. Man, I hope you had something to eat, 'cause things are just getting started. Teetotal and time was all done. I grew up in Daddy's shadow, and now it's time for 20 fun. Did you say this tea was from Long Island? And are you sure that Russian guy was white? Is it ever really dry in London? Do you think they'll let us stay down here all night? This is the life, this is the life, this is the life. Woo-hoo. So many crazy flavors, shouted secrets dimmed by smoke. Didn't know I was so good looking, or that I knew so many jokes. And all of these new strangers just became my oldest friends. How do I know so many lyrics when I can barely count to 10? Albert, is my indiscretion showing? If this is wrong, I don't want to be right. How could I spend all this time not knowing that I could live my whole life in one night? This is the life, this is the life, this is the life. This is the life, this is the life, this is the life. Here's the big part, where there's a guitar solo over the verse, chord progression, and everybody's cheering like they're drunk at a bar. And then we sing a chorus, go do 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 do. Yeah 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 yeah. Do 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 do. Now you swear to me it's morning, but all I do is swear, because there's ketchup on my sweater and ashes in my hair. Only 3 blocks to my doorstep, but I'm half a mile away. I hope you got that last round, 'cause I sold that guy my brain. I sold that guy my brain. Now can you offer me some southern comfort? Is that the sun, the street lamp, or the northern light? Man, I hope this feeling lasts forever. Do you think that we could do this every night? This is the life, this is the life, this is the life. This is the life, this is the life, this is the life. This is the life, this is the life, this is the life. Oh, this is the life, this is the life, this is the life. All right, rock and rollin' good time. Yeah. Woo. All right, well, I'm going to play another brand new one from February album writing up, because, you know, my guest tonight taught me that sometimes it's okay to roll the shit out a little bit early. When you don't think it's quite done yet, some of the bits that you thought were going to wind up on the cutting room floor could wind up being the best bits of all. So he showed me that, you know, you bring it out there, you see what you got, and then you go home and you do your fucking revisions, or maybe you don't. You just throw it on the fire and leave it behind. But without getting too deep into this song is about territory, I will say that the entire group of songs I wound up writing for February album writing month all seem to revolve around my memories of my time during college in Princeton, New Jersey. Both direct and oblique, I wound up writing about a lot of those times, and other things about Princeton, New Jersey. And this next one is quite a different tone, but this is another one that I wrote for the record that I've never shared with anybody before, not even my February album writing month friends. It's tentatively called the Holly and the Briar, and it goes like this. Early September, eastern forests are crawling away. Uniformed young men climb aboard, 8 white swans in a row, rubbing sleep from their eyes. The dream dust dapples the quiet lake. Overhung, there were rowdy date rapists just a few short hours ago. In their supper clubs, with their father's gloves, a self-righteous abdominal fire. Oh, the history of the holly and the briar. In this kingdom run rampant young lions who have never known hunger, prowling and plastered with hubris, mistaken for merit. Nursed fertile in autumn, left tired and barren become summer. A knowledge of time no meek steward could hope to inherit from their baby blues and their bogey shoes. To this cataloged dream we aspire, Oh, the pageantry of the holly and the briar. Oh, now 3 worlds away, oaken shadows give way to pine flooring. 10 to 1 odds overcome by the bickering butterfly. While the infinite trust calls its trust, its momentum unmooring. Under plastic sheets canopy, the sins overlooked under winter sky. Loose links, loose lips sink ships. He holds her wrists. Princes expect what they desire. Oh, the privilege of the holly and the briar. The holly and the briar. Thank you so much for taking that slow and quiet ride with me on a Tuesday evening. I promise it's not all going to be a bunch of downers. Well, I don't know. Maybe it is going to be a bunch of fucking downers. It kind of depends on what our guest brings to the table. Speaking of which, like I said, this is somebody that has really allowed me to stretch out as a songwriter. Somebody that's allowed me to find myself not only by encouragement, but by also giving me and so many New York songwriters a space that is both safe and critical of what you're working on in order to peddle your wares and take your stuff for a test drive. Anybody that's come through New York as a singer-songwriter for the last 10 plus years has flown across his radar as he's flown across the radar of some international songwriting and performing stars. He is somebody who gives as much as he gets from the world, and is just one of the best fucking songwriters I have ever crossed paths with. The first time I ever heard him open his mouth and sing something, I thought, yeah, that sounds okay. And then I heard him sing his second one. I was like, yeah, that one's fine too. And then I heard him sing those same 2 songs again. And I said, oh no, those are really special. And then I heard him a third time. And I said, dear fucking Lord, where did this song come from? I feel like I've known it all my life. And by the 4th time, I was singing along with a room full of other people. Like it was a fucking Bon Jovi concert, except we were just a bunch of New York songwriters supporting one another and showing the love that only other artists can show for other people. This all facilitated by none other than tonight's guest, Mr. Niall Connolly. Niall, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for that.
Don't hear you yet. You are muted, my friend.
Don't hear me yet. Am I muted?
Push the button, I think. No, can't hear you yet. Uh-oh. How about now?
Can you hear me now?
We can make this work. Don't worry about it. I can work this for you. I'm going to edit your mic settings. I'm going to turn this way up over here for you. Why don't you say hello one more time now? We'll make this work.
Can you hear me now?
Nope. You know, it's really people out there. You all hear him. It's just me. I'm the only one that doesn't hear Niall. Is that true? Oh my God. Well, then hold on. Then let me see if I can fix my shit over here, because it's going to be really tough for me to interview this dude if I can't actually hear him fucking talk. That's weird. Niall, you just talk there and you know, kind of make people interested and happy for a minute like you do. Cover for all of us like you do oh so often. I don't know why I can't hear what the fuck you're doing, but I should be able to. Can you say hello to me again there, Niall?
Hello, Chris. Hello.
Nope, I can't hear a fucking thing you're saying, and it's pissing me off. As a matter of fact, on Facebook, too, you can hear him. So you know what we're going to do? I know what I'm going to do. We're going to go a little – we're going to try something here.
We could just guess. Now I don't hear you.
All right. Fuck the headphones. Fuck the fancy microphone. Niall, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Fucking A. We're just going to do it this way. I have my fancy microphone set up, and I think it's going to make me look and sound so cool. Now I'm muted?
No, I hear you.
Fucking, but now Kenny doesn't hear me. Okay, good. I think we're all better now. Jesus Christ. All right, Jesus Christ. How you doing now?
I'm doing well. I have a Buck 65. I don't know if you know Buck 65, Canadian songwriter. He has a line in one of his songs about having the Midas touch in reverse, which I feel like this is my second attempt at a StreamYard where both times we have checked it beforehand, and then when it's come around, I have managed to cause some sort of technological chaos. Anyway, I did hear your beautiful introduction. Thank you very much for that. And it is the first time both the first time that I've had a Bon Jovi comparison and from somebody from New Jersey, and the first time I've had a Bon Jovi comparison from anybody. But
well, I'd like to point out that if you get a Bon Jovi comparison from me, it's just a little more legitimate because I'm from New Jersey.
I know.
That's the way it works.
My initial response was tempered by that.
So it's so good to see you again, people at home. We did indeed check this out. For those of you that are just joining us because you're a friend or fan of Niall's, and there are many, I'm Chris Murphy. Welcome to the Tuesday Night Live Stream. And we are here to talk to Niall about songs and songwriting and hear him do his thing. Niall, why don't you talk a little bit about what your life as a songwriter looks like right now, this week, this month?
Yeah, I was just hearing you singing the songs from the February the song challenge, and I was just thinking, and I was reading about I know E.W. Harris and Jasper and Craig and a bunch of other people did it as well, and I think I don't think I wrote as many shopping lists as you guys wrote songs this month, and I wrote a lot of shopping lists or to-do lists. Maybe my to-do lists and shopping lists combined were what you guys got to, but yeah, it's been different, certainly, obviously, but I at the beginning of the pandemic, the very first week, I decided that said I was going to play every Wednesday night, do a live stream every Wednesday night and every Saturday afternoon. Wednesday night, thinking because I had just played every Wednesday for years doing Sound Club, I couldn't bear the thought of not doing something, so I kept going with the Wednesdays, and then Saturday afternoons, because that was Saturday night in Ireland and Europe, places that I toured a lot. And I thought I would do that for a few weeks, and I'll be doing the 100th one tomorrow. So that's kind of kept me. It's been nice to have the need to feel the need to be somewhere twice a week and show up and you know, kind of keep it somewhat together for that for those couple of hours each week. And my child is in the background there after waking up telling me she's hungry, but that's another aspect of what's it like to be a songwriter in this time. So,
100 live streams now. That's incredible. Like,
yeah, so yeah, it's been crazy, and it's been really it has been really nice to have that sort of sense of community. I might have to go and get her here.
You can bring her on the show. I don't think it'd be the first.
I think Claire has her headphones on. there's been a lovely sort of sense of community has built up around those, and I've people who've been coming to concerts for years, like in anywhere from Hungary to San Francisco, sort of tuning in very modest numbers, but like just tuning in and having a bit of a community there, and sharing requests and songs, and kind of even getting to know each other a little bit through it has been, there's nothing compares to the actual gigs, but it's been sort of comforting and inspiring to sort of have that to lean on each week. And then I also I started a Patreon as well, just partly out of the absolute need to do it at the beginning, but also just to sort of feel it's been great to feel sort of creatively accountable to people, that these people are putting their hands in their wallets each month to support my creativity. What have I done? So that has been good sort of motivation as well. So that's been the bulk of the sort of regular stuff that I've been doing to sort of keep myself motivated. There was a couple of gigs, outdoor gigs during the summer in Woodstock and stuff, but generally it's just been like, locked down. What can I do to stay creative and sane and positive, which are not three things that are easy to do this year. So I've been appreciative of having those things to lean on for that.
Yeah, I mean, 100 dates a year, any year, is pretty damn good. 100 dates a year this past year is magical. So I have to ask, having had such a consistent platform, and it sounds like a fairly consistent audience tuning in, do you feel like you've learned anything bigger about yourself as a performer in having to do it on the screen all year as opposed to in a live environment?
That's a very good question. I suppose it's similar in that you are it's kind of a welcoming, isn't it? Isn't a gig is like that you are trying to extend the welcome to people who have stopped by the page for a minute, in the same way that you might be trying to get the attention of someone at the back of a room, or that you want to. For me, it's been nice to just to know. One of the features that I like about it is that you know who's there. When people comment, then you know who's there, and you can kind of talk to people in a way that you wouldn't at gigs. Because there's you see their comments, and you get to kind of have a bit of a conversation, and but I suppose that opens it up to the kind of the welcoming aspect of a really good gig. If you go to see somebody that you like, it can be in an auditorium or something, that the really, really good performers have the ability to make you feel like they're singing to you, and I think that's something that we all try to recreate at gigs, and I suppose that's the thread that runs through both, that runs through the actual live gig and the stream gig, just because it's counterintuitive. Certainly, staring at a phone is normally the definition of somebody not being mindful, so you're trying to be, or not being present, so you're trying to be mindfully present while doing the very thing that indicates that you're not.
Right.
So
I love that.
I do find myself saying, I gotta pay attention to these comments, but only a small bit. I also have to pay attention to the songs. So that's it.
Fantastic.
So that elongated, distracted non-answer to your question is an answer in itself.
We do nothing but elongated and distracted non-answers on this show, so we're doing just fine. One other question that I've kind of asked every songwriter that's come on the show, and it seems to go one of two ways. How has this last year of not being as out in the world affected you as a songwriter? Are you producing more, less in terms of quantity and or quality?
I'm producing less, I would say, frankly, to be honest. That the less, probably slightly less new songs. I feel like there's a lot of, I have several songs, but I would be quite prolific generally. So this maybe not quite as much, and I think that is twofold. I think it's partly from not playing as much, and also just not being out in the world as much. So it's a lot more. A lot of it's more. It's just slower, I suppose. Just a slower process, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I have a lot of kind of works in progress, and I have like I'm working on an album now that there is more than an album's worth of material for. So that's that's the face I want to see. I could imagine that face next time I doubt myself.
Oh, y'all motherfuckers heard that, right? Connolly's finally working on a new record, everybody. Woo! Oh, fucking A. I do want to point out real quick that Niall's put out a ton of great records, and I'll put the link up to those in a minute. But his 2010 record, Brother, the Fight is Fixed, is not just one of my favorite albums by one of my friends ever. It is one of my favorite albums ever, period.
Wow.
Full stop. It is a fucking tour de force of songwriting from Niall, incredible performances from Niall, great production from E.W. Harris. It is just absolutely magical. And that's to say all your albums are fucking great, but that one, blah, 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 blah.
Thank you. Thanks. Well, maybe will I do something from that for you, Chris? Would you like that?
I love that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get the hell out of the way. And I usually have guests do 2 songs here, but I'd love it if you do 3 songs because your songs are just so fucking good, unless that's not what you want to do.
That's fine. Yeah. So
do 3 songs.
Yeah.
And before I go, I'm going to get a couple of things. I'm going to make sure that you can follow Niall on Facebook. And actually, you can just get everything you need over at niallconnolly.com. And below that, I'm also going to put a quick banner, just letting you know that Niall and all of my guests are appearing out of the goodness of their hearts. And if you would like to give them a little something, I do take tips or what have you at my Venmo. 2/3 of all that money passes directly on to the artists from that week. 1/3 of it stays in my coffers to pay for StreamYard and some of the other little things I do to keep the show going. Feel free to throw money or not throw money, but definitely make sure you check out Niall's stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Niall Connolly.
Thank you, Chris. Once upon a time, a long time ago, we got lost in the woods. I strayed a little further than a sensible someone else should. Wasn't looking for trouble, wasn't looking for gold. I knew it wasn't looking too good. I lost my compass, I lost my northern star. Now I'm talking with my best friend, she's right in front of me. Says I don't know where you are. But I'll be there if I have to. Be there if I have to. Be there if I have to swim. I was walking through the wasteland as a child. I remember well stepping on a rusty nail. I pop up through my shoe. I was with my father and I cried. I was young enough for that, to be alright. Old enough to feel like a fool. She says sometimes I feel like that. I feel like that now too. But I'll be there if I have to. Be there if I have to. Be there if I have to swim. I'll be there if I have to swim. You don't have to speak. Your face tells a story by itself. Yeah, I know sometimes you feel like the girl at the bottom of the well. Or listen to the clatter, the chitter, chitter, chatter of the voices overground. In the overstretched city, with its head stuck in the clouds, where all the king's horses and all the king's men are far too busy helping somebody else. Yeah, you can fix it, but you're gonna have to stick it back together yourself. When your back's against the wall, it's hard to stand tall and raise your voice and sing. Hey, I know you are. I've seen you at your best. You can rise above anything. And I'll be there if I have to. Be there if I have to. Be there if I have to swim. I'll be there if I have to swim. Yeah, I'll be there if I have to. Be there if I have to. Be there if I have to swim. I'll be there if I have to swim. So that is one from Brother the Fight is Fixed from 2010. An album that, as Chris mentioned, E.W. Harris produced. It was the first album that I made in the States. I moved over here a couple of years prior to that and crossed paths with the great E.W. Harris. And he made that album for me in a studio that was about the size of the two of us, underneath the train in Williamsburg, underneath the train station at least, not quite underneath the train. I'll do a new one that Chris wouldn't have heard probably yet. This is a more recent one, and this is a fairly self-explanatory one. It's called I Hope You're Doing Alright. I've been working on some new recordings with the band remotely, so I've been recording stuff at home and sending it to the guys and kind of building it up from there, which is kind of seems both unnatural and perfectly normal as well at the same time. I'm very happy with the results, so there will be a new album out in the future, if not before then. I heard your song come on the radio last night, what a surprise. Your voice just like an oak tree reaching for the stars on a moonless night. Pull me out of my own shadow and into your light, into your light. Oh, I hope you're doing alright. I heard your song come on the radio last night, what a surprise. Your voice just like an oak tree reaching for the stars on a moonless night. Pull me out of my own shadow and into light. Oh, I hope you're doing alright. Must be 10 years since I seen you now. You were drying out, passing through, spent a few nights on my couch. You spoke mostly of your wife, and though your words were only canned, I knew something wasn't right. I knew something wasn't right. I had your song come on the radio last night. What a surprise. Your voice just like an oak tree reaching for the stars on a moonless night. Pulled me out of my own shadow and into your light, into your light. Oh, I hope you're doing alright. Last I heard you were in Australia, put the guitar away. You were painting again, spirit animals, cloud formations, the desert sky at night. Oh, my friend, I hope you find a way to keep your mind light, to keep it light. Oh, I hope you're doing alright. I heard your song come on the radio last night. What a surprise. Your voice just like an oak tree reaching for the stars on a moonless night. Pulled me out of my own shadow and into your light. Oh, I hope you're doing alright. Oh, I hope you're doing alright. The next one I'm going to do is
Woo!
also. Thank you, Chris. So I released two singles already from the next album, and this is one of them. It's called Maybe Next Year, and the two singles are available on Bandcamp now, and they'll be on the album as well. This is one about another one is very, very self-explanatory. This is called Maybe Next Year. So these two would be ones that I've written, I suppose, since the lockdown. And now that I think about it, now that I'm like looking for songs to play that Chris might not have heard, trying to impress my friend Chris here, I suppose I have written quite a good few songs, a couple of fistfuls of songs in the last year. It just doesn't feel like as many as usual. This is a short song. If you don't like it, don't panic. Maybe next year I get home for a week or two. Keep the workload light. Have some quiet time with you. I miss my family and my hometown. The evening, summer hue. Maybe next year. You can come over here any chance you get to. Always room in my house, always room for you. Nobody sleeping in your bed, nobody touching your food. Always room in my house for you. If I don't see you here, I will be coming to you. Maybe next year, maybe next year, if we all make it through. I got a bag of tunes and a box of strings, a mop and a broom for any trouble I might bring. Mopping out tours of my favorite rooms, scheming of playing them with you. If I don't see you here, I will be coming to you. Maybe next year, if we all make it through. If I don't see you here, I will be coming to you. Maybe next year, if we all make it through.
Niall Connolly, ladies and gentlemen, bringing the new shit. Oh my God, what a great surprise. I do love that one. I do absolutely love that song. And it was so great to hear another new one. It was really, really fantastic. I was getting some back channel texts from one or two of our regular listeners just saying stuff like, this is fucking brilliant. And while you're playing, we got things like, we got the heart emojis from Christina Ida. Brilliant. From Gene Cameron or Jean Cameron. Also, Gene Cameron also says, this is absolutely beautiful. And gives you the, it's so small. I see a heart, but my eyesight isn't good enough to tell me what flag that is. And now I feel foolish.
Or pebble. Thank you, Gene.
Jay Buchanan giving us the hand claps. Christina Ida also sang the Oak Tree song. It's her favorite. So, wow. Now, I got to ask you, now, a little while ago, you mentioned that you think you are not as technologically savvy as you probably are. And I will say that when I think of the idea of people recording things remotely, when I think of people swapping tracks on the internet or getting things done in that fashion, Niall Connolly is not the first dude I think of that would be super comfortable working in that kind of environment. And I'm not trying to call you a Luddite or a technological dilettante or anything, but it is surprising and exciting to hear you working like this. And I'm so stoked that, you do have new stuff in the oven, as they say.
If I can interrupt you briefly, Chris, just to say that I'm not a Luddite. I'd say maybe after an intensive technological training, I could become a Luddite. But I'm hesitant to tell you how I'm actually doing this. I'm recording this stuff into like one of those handheld Zoom H2 recorders, and I'm sending it to the band. And they are bringing the Brandon and Lenny, especially Lenny. The last single, I don't know if you heard it. Released. We Don't Have to Talk About It as a single as well. And I literally sent Len the guitar and voice, and he did absolutely everything. So I'm blessed with the people that I surround myself with. I always have been very, very fortunate in that sense. Speaking of surrounding myself with talent, would you play me a couple of your songs, please?
In a minute, I will. First, I want to, you know what? A couple months ago, Lara told me to shut the fuck up and stop making this show about me. And Lara both loves me and scares the shit out of me. So
that's cool.
I took her at her word. She's like, if you want people to be interested in people on this show, don't make it about yourself. But I wanted to make sure that people knew that they can check out your music at niallconnolly.bandcamp.com. For those of you that are not Bandcamp people, it is the best place to buy independent artists' music because the biggest chunk of change goes directly to them. As a matter of fact, if Niall doesn't mind and you can wait another couple days, this Friday, if you buy Niall's music at Bandcamp, Bandcamp will be waiving their tiny little, as it is, fee, and every single penny that you spend on Niall's music will go directly into his proverbial pocket.
And anybody's music. First Friday of the month, Bandcamp have been doing that throughout the pandemic, and they really have. I think they've kind of come to the fore as like they are the farmers market of the platforms, you know.
Absolutely,
They are the farm to table. They are the farm to table hosts, and there's a few others that like, you know, kind of have the organic packaging but suspect produce. And then you have the factory farming of a few of the other streaming ones.
Spotify with all that fucking garbage pumped into their music. Oh my God. I don't want any of that genetically modified Apple music anymore. I want strictly hormone-free, organic, cage-free shit at Bandcamp. Yeah. I gotta ask now, do you feel like that Lenny and Brandon are exploring like new sounds that they might not be looking to if this were more of kind of like an organic band arrangement process like you've done on albums in the past?
Yeah, I feel like we're pushing things differently. So there's definitely an element of the crisis as opportunity, pushing it out a bit in different directions than we might normally have. Len has been very, very much open to being like or I'm very much open to. This time I'm kind of just sending them stuff and say, trying to like I'm stepping back very much. I'm enjoying saying, I have this idea, but go whatever direction you want with it, you know. And then we kind of come back and we'll sort of meet somewhere in between. But I suppose it is, but yeah, it's been. Yes, I would say that we have probably gone in a bit more of a little bit more experimental than if it was just, all right, you are the drummer and you are the bass player and you are the guitar player kind of thing, you know. Whereas Len is on the last track, for example, Len did, you know, a beautiful string arrangement and a drum. Program's drum part, and it's certainly different to my more acoustic stuff or more traditional rock band kind of stuff, but I love it.
And it's so good. Yeah. I will play you one song before we get back to your stuff. Do you have any requests? Is there anything special you want to hear?
I'd love to hear another new one if you were feeling it.
Sure. I can do another new one. What did I write in February?
The other song of yours that I always love is I may not have to start right, but you were never there, or you were never here. That one.
Oh yeah. You know, if it weren't for you, I would never play that song. Because you were the first, aside from the person that nudged me to finish writing it, because it started off as an improvisation. He sent me some edited lyrics. He'd actually edited the lyrics I improvised into a song. And then he said, now play this. Here's a recording of you improvising this at a bar. Here are the lyrics I've edited for you. And I played it and I was like, yeah, I don't really like this. But at some point I brought it to Song Club because it was something new.
Yeah.
And you and a couple other people were like, that song is so good. And I'm like, really? Okay, I trust you because you're all really great songwriters. So I'll play another new one, though. This is another one from the Princeton songs. I actually played this last week for the first time, and one of my regular watchers said it might be a keeper. So I'll bust out my emo skills on this one, and we'll see how it goes. I know this square mile like the back of my hand. Everything that happens here is holy and or grand. And the shouts and doubters and the haters, they don't mean a thing to me. There's a preacher to the west and a doctor down south, and a man who makes electric city just by moving his mouth. They say my life has meaning. They mean everything to me. Still, I don't know you, you don't know me. Yet somehow we're sure of who we're gonna be. Believers, we're gonna be believers. Believers, we're gonna be believers. Believers, we're gonna be believers. We're gonna be believers. Came down as a reckless child, became a dreaming sage. Conducted decisions efficiently, I ruled it like a page. Found my voice in heresy, in hopes that you would sing for me. If you give me a boom bap beat, you know I'm gonna rock it. I've got an orchestra right here in my pocket. These words, these melodies, they mean everything to me. Still, I don't know you, you don't know me. Yet somehow we're hoping that we're gonna be believers. We're gonna be believers. Believers, gonna be believers. Believers, we're gonna be believers. Gonna be believers. For better or worse, don't let down your guard. You clutch the faith like a victory. They control all the cards. For better or worse, just hold your ground. Don't leave this forever town. When did you tire of the mystery? When did you grow old? Learn to voice your suspicions about the stories he told. Boiled it down to the spirit. That ghost took everything from me. So take that bus to the city or just jump off castle roofs. Meditate on the battlefield till you think you found the truth. I'll stay in abject certainty. Don't even say a thing to me. Still, I don't know you, you don't know me. And somehow, I'm sure that I'm still gonna be a believer. I'm a believer. I'm a believer. I'm a believer. A believer. I am still a believer. I'm still a believer. For better or worse, I'm a believer. For better or worse, I'm a believer. I'm a believer. I'm a believer. I am a believer.
Woohoo!
Thank you. There's a new one.
I like that.
So, yeah. I mean, that's one of those ones where I feel like I might be hitting it a little too squarely on the head in the chorus, but then I'm also thinking that, like, if somebody else were singing this and not some, like, kind of, you know, genero acoustic singer-songwriter, it might, like, it might be a thing that people like to sing along to, but then I get back to like, it's a little too direct for you, Murphy. Like you're not that guy. You can't just do that. But then I'm like, but maybe I should just do that. A couple months ago, I had Brooke Pridemore on the show. And I don't know if you know Brooke, but I really, really admire their songwriting. And they talked a little bit about they're more of like that channeling the thing songwriter. That's not me. I've always been like revise, write, stick it in a form, play by the rules. Whereas they're like, the song just comes to me and it just happens. And I'm like, fuck you. But I've been experimenting with letting the things that come to me first stick around for at least a little while before I edit them out, which is a hard thing to do as a craft-driven writer. But I'm like, that chorus is just, it felt like how the chorus of this song goes, which means either A, I stole that shit from somebody, or B, it was a gift given to me by the universe. I don't know. I'm going to shut the fuck up now.
No, I know that feeling. Yeah, where like it can. I think it's kind of natural to just, as somebody who does, I do a bit of both of the songs that take me years literally to write, and the ones that take the length of the song to write. You know, so I do. I do have this kind of I think editor's mistrust of the ones that come quickly, but then after time, you know whether they sit true to your set or not, you know. But I do know that feeling. Yeah.
You know, it's interesting because I feel like that's the thing where, as a songwriter and performer, a lot of times if you sing something and try it out in front of a handful of different audiences and see how it lands with them, they kind of let you know where the song sits. And you know what? Right now, I have comments on the screen, and thank you, Nam, for the compliment. And I have a conversation with you, but there's some, what would the visual feedback at Song Club feel like, or at any other songwriter gig that I'm playing? You know?
Yeah, no, I do know. Yeah, it's definitely something that we miss, and there's like I just feel so much more tired all the time, and I think it's that I was getting. I really feel like I took energy from live performances, you know, like that I was charged by performing live, and I feel like I'm missing that that thing right now. But I do understand that the song is finished when you've played it. I would say several times, not even like got the number of like songs that became my more popular songs or more successful songs that I butchered 5 or 6 times at Song Club or wherever first until you got like the difference between the song being good and terrible. Sometimes it's just the phrasing is way off, or it's frequently it's too long. You know, I think that's the new song problem we all encounter. And certainly when I was hosting open mics and like an actual open mic, which I did for many years at the Path Cafe, that I think that a frequent issue that a lot of very new songwriters had is that they didn't know how to edit, and I feel like that's something that you can really learn quickly from playing live, because you see people are into something, and then you're like, you can see them. You can like, if you sing with your eyes open, you don't have to be a music or an editor to know that the song is too long, you know. But
Jim Nabel is asking if we could do a Zoom Song Club where we could all see each other, or would that just be creepy? And my answer is yes and yes.
yeah. I just you're talking to the man whose technical capabilities end with the kettle, but if someone else can help manage it.
Yeah, I'd be into
Hello,
that.
Jeff, by the way, hello.
I will say that for the first time, I've played this song at home a bunch. I played it on the air last week. I actually felt like this time when I played it, I was like, you know what? The second and third verses should only be half as long as they are. Like I felt in the middle, I was like, I didn't
feel that. I didn't feel that with your song there. I was just thinking about what I get from doing live gigs myself, and like from posting stuff. That this one of the things that you get is a very definite sense of what's working and not. But like I enjoyed the new song. Does it have a title?
I guess it's just going to be called Believers.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was 22, I would pick out the most obscure fucking lyric in the whole song and then misspell one of the words, and then that would be the title.
I still do that.
Yeah. But I'm like, you know what? I say Believers like 68 fucking times. The song's called Believers. Done and done.
That it makes more sense, yeah, in terms of people finding it. But yeah,
but speaking of songs, are you going to play some more for us?
Maybe I'll do one more, Chris, if that's all right. I think I'll have to probably begin to wrap up at that point, but I'll do one more. Have you anything you'd like to hear? That's quiet.
Oh, that makes it a little easier actually. Well, you could play the other new single.
I'll do that. How about I do that? I'll do that.
Yeah, you could do that, or you could do 1916. That might be. Or are you tired of playing that one? Are you tired of closing with that song? Does anybody out there? We have a lot of regular Song Club people hanging out. Does anybody have a quiet Niall request that they want to toss out there in the next 12 seconds or so? I said the new one or James Connolly.
I'll do the new one, Chris, if that's all right.
That sounds great. Well, I'm going to shut the fuck up and get out of the way then. Ladies and gentlemen, new music from Jim Nabel says the new single too. I'm going to make sure that your information is on the screen so people know where to find your stuff. You can find him on Facebook and Instagram at Niall Connolly Music. And I'm also going to let that annoying C-SPAN ticker run at the bottom so people can know that if they want to give some money to Niall, you can either join his Patreon or Patreon, I'm not sure how it's pronounced these days, directly through his website or through his Facebook, Instagram, etc. Or you can put money in my Venmo and it will get to Niall, I promise. Here's Niall Connolly. I can't say your fucking name. Niall Connolly playing some new music.
Thank you so much, Chris. Thanks everybody for tuning in. And if I just add as well that I do my own live stream every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock New York time and Saturdays at 3. I will finish my part of the performance with this one. This is called We Don't Have to Talk About It. I know you hear the call of the wind, the smell of the salt and the rock. Take a quiet step back, friends. I wouldn't want you to fall, but we don't have to talk about it if you don't want to talk. Put up, head down, killing time, walking around town, waiting on the last bus. We gotta get home. We gotta get home, but we don't have to talk about it if you don't want to talk. And if you want to talk about it, you can call me anytime you want. I know you get tempted by the third rail late at night. Never used to understand it then, but you do now sometimes. But we don't have to talk about it if you don't want to talk. And if you want to talk about it, you can call me anytime you want. Wrote a note, tore it up, fed it to the seagulls below. Didn't want to burden any of us. Needed something living and know. But we don't have to talk about it if you don't want to talk. But if you want to talk about it, you can call me anytime you want. No, we don't have to talk about it if you don't want to talk. If you want to talk about it, you can call me anytime you want. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Niall. Before I let you go, is there anything you want to plug aside from your Patreon or your Instagram and Facebook stuff and niallconnolly.com and niallconnolly.bandcamp.com and all the things?
I think you've got it all there, yeah. I got the stream every Wednesday night at 9 and Saturdays at 3. The Patreon page is just Niall Connolly, and that's been a massive help to me. Thanks so much to everyone who's done that. And I suppose I would just say to all the Sound Club people, miss you all and hope you're all doing okay, and looking forward to the time when we can actually be in a room together, and it'll be nice. It'll be emotional. Crying expected. Anybody who doesn't cry at the Sound Club, anyone who doesn't cry at the first Sound Club is no longer invited to my funeral.
That got very fucking dark right away. Good job, Connolly. Jesus.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Niall, have a great night. I love you. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, you too.
Oh my God, Niall Connolly, ladies and gentlemen, we're so lucky to have had him on the show tonight. I couldn't be more thrilled. I haven't had a chance to talk to Niall that long because he's one of those people that's just weird on the phone. I guess maybe I am too, though. It was so great to connect with Niall. Please do make sure you go and check out all his stuff. If you're here because of Niall, why don't you go ahead and give me a follow? If you're here because of me, make sure you go and give Niall a follow, because not only do I do a show here every Tuesday night with great guests, but like Niall said, every Wednesday and Saturday on his Facebook page, he does a live stream, and he's got like 1,000 fucking great songs that you can tune in and hear, and he takes requests. Speaking of which, if anybody has any last minute requests, you can throw them in the chat now. If you don't, that's fine too. We can just hit the bricks and call it a day. It's 10:08 Eastern on a Tuesday night, which means it's bedtime for some of us. Requests going once, going twice. All right. Well, then I'm going to go ahead and hit the bricks. Make sure that you guys take care of the world around you, both the people that believe the same things that you do and believe otherwise. I will hope that I see all of you here next week. We'll have another fantastic guest to share an evening with. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and then we're going to get out of here, and everybody's going to have a great week. I haven't figured out how to make a credits roll yet. At some point, I'll figure out how to make a cool credits roll, even though all the credits are me. But I will just put this up here for the moment and tell you all, have a great rest of your week. Nothing but love for everybody out there.